Hi everyone, it's Brian. How are you? Happy Monday. Over the phone is rocking. It does not get you dizzy. I'm not quite sure who's going to be able to see this in terms of the time, but I just wanted to kind of let you guys know that this is going to be taped, so you can stop back and watch it. But I wanted to kind of come to you today with a fast version of barbecue pulled pork sliders and macaroni and cheese. And to do that, I'm kind of pulling out two of the power guns. I've got in here, let me just grab a spoon. In here I have 3 cups, 3 3/4 cups, to make sure you guys can see this, of vegetable broth, okay? And I have 1 pound of ziti. Normally, for mac and cheese, I would do elbow, and I thought I had some, but apparently I'd used it the other day, so it's not really kind of. I didn't have any, and I didn't want to kind of not make the video because of it. So I got it in the 4-quart rock crock. Put a little bit of salt in it. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the boil over no more cover on it, and I'm going to stick this right in the microwave for 10 minutes. Okay. In the meantime, what I have in our Pampered Chef quick cooker is about 4 pounds. I took a pork shoulder, the picnic one, the one with the bone in it, and I kind of cut all the meat off of the bone, kind of got rid of some of that fat, that really thick layer of fat, got rid of that, and then ultimately I divided it in half. So I got about 2.5 pounds, 4 pounds, 4.5 pounds that I've got on the tray, and I'm going to actually kind of show you, and I'm going to put that in one. But I already got it cooking in another one, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is kind of do that live TV thing where presto, it's done, that kind of deal. So let me first get the macaroni and cheese, or the pasta in the microwave, and I'll be right back. Okay, and in case I didn't mention it or not, the pasta is going to cook for 10 minutes, okay? So now, in the quick cooker, truly, this has been a lifesaver for so many reasons. When you don't know really what you want to have for dinner, and you just kind of put it in there and put it together. But it's kind of like that one-stop deal. You can do all sorts of things in it. Rice, you can do beans, you can do soup, stews, chilies, pork, chicken. You can proof your bread. You can make eggs. It's got custom settings. It's got 14 preset settings where you can actually just push the button. Hey Sharon, how are you? You like pulled pork? That's what I'm making. So what I'm going to do is just kind of walk you through the steps that I've got already cooking in the other one on the stove. I just kind of put a cutting board down, and I put it on the stove, okay? But, so I took the other half of the pork shoulder, okay? And again, like I said, I trimmed off the fat. And now basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of open this up, and it talks to you. Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut this in pieces, okay? And I'm just going to kind of throw it right in the pot, okay? You want it kind of like, almost as if you were going to do like skewers, okay? Maybe a little bit bigger than skewers, okay? So you're going to kind of just roughly chop this. There's no rhyme or reason to how big you need this. As long as it's kind of uniform, okay? So you just kind of throw them, and if you see the pieces are big enough or small enough, just throw them in there. You don't really have to worry so much about them. As long as they're kind of bite-sized. And the nice part about doing it this way is you actually get to trim off any of that kind of really excess fat you don't really want to eat. It gives it flavor, but we're leaving some fat on to give flavor, so I'm not really so worried about that. Okay? So we're going to just kind of throw this in. Okay? Now, I'm kind of clean the deck here. To actually add to that now, what I have is a quarter of a good sized red onion. I had already peeled it, and I already sliced some of it for the one that's cooking. And that one's got about 11 minutes left. Okay, so we're going to kind of roughly chop this again. Doesn't have to be small pieces, just roughly chop it, throw it in there. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to add a little bit of salt, and I'm keeping this very simple. Okay, I'm keeping it. This spice is very simple because we're going to add some spices afterwards. Okay, so we got some salt, we got some pepper. Okay. And that's really to your taste, okay? Let me just grab a towel here. So we got salt, pepper, red onion. Then we're going to take 2 cloves of garlic. I'm using our garlic press, okay? And you just kind of put the garlic clove in there. Squeeze, it comes out. There is really nothing like fresh garlic. So whenever possible, use fresh. Use this little kind of cleaning tool to get the skin out, okay? Then we're going to do the second clove. Just squeeze, pull, clean, and you're all set. Okay, and the skin stays in there. Okay, so we're all done with that. So we got about 4.5 pounds of pork. We got a quarter of a red onion diced, 2 cloves of garlic, some salt and pepper. And then what we're going to add is we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of our smoky barbecue rub. 3 tablespoons equates to 2 caps. Okay. So we're going to add that. Now whenever you're using the... Hey Angela, how are you? Glad you could pop in. Whenever you're using the quick cooker, you have to start with some form of liquid. Now, if this was frozen, I could have done this with frozen pork as well, but in this case it wasn't, it was defrosted. So we need to add some liquid so that that liquid can build up to pressure or to steam. So we have to put in about a cup of water, okay? Standard rule of thumb with this is usually about a cup, okay? So we're going to kind of just put the cup of water in. We're going to put the cover on, okay, just like this, and you turn it, and as soon as you turn it, it kind of like speaks to you again. It likes to talk to you, okay? So I could preset this by putting however many minutes I wanted, but I'm not in this case because this already has a setting of pork. Right here it says beef or pork. So I'm just going to turn this dial until you see the blue light come over to the pork. And that's it. You press start, and it's now going to start to build up to pressure. So you're going to see this circle going around in blue, okay? And as the circle is going around in blue, that means it's building up the pressure. Here, I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but there's a little red button, okay? When the quick cooker comes up to pressure, that button will pop up. When that button pops up, you no longer can take this cover off until it's either completed, or you hit cancel, or you unplug it. So that's an amazing safety feature right there to prevent you from getting burnt, okay? And you always want to make sure when you start this that the steam release valve is flush, and if you're not sure it's flush, just hit the button and it pops right down, okay? So this one is now on its way. The one I have on the stove basically has 7 minutes left, okay? So while it's doing its thing, we're going to actually start prepping what we need for the macaroni and cheese, okay? As I said, I got a pound of ziti in the Dutch oven rock in the microwave for 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. What I'm going to add to that is you need liquid. You can use milk, you can use butter. I find the best macaroni and cheese recipes are when you use evaporated milk. So I'm going to add about 12 ounces of evaporated milk, some salt, some pepper. You can add any spices you want. You can flavor it up. You can heat it up. You can add some bacon. But I'm keeping it simple here. Basically, this way I can add to it if there's leftovers, which there's not going to be. Not for macaroni and cheese. But we try. We really do try. So, we got about 12 ounces of evaporated milk. I'm going to grab the cheese. Cheese, I'm going to be very honest with you, as much or as little as you want. I'm probably going to, this is a 2-pound block. I really prefer to buy cheese by block. And you noticed I mentioned cheese, and here comes my dogs. Ha! I swear to God, they could be sound asleep. They mentioned that word cheese, and here they come. So if you don't mind, I have to give them one to get them away from me, okay? That's just so comical. So I won't be using a half a block. I'll be using almost a half a block. Here you go. Take your cheese and go. All right. So I actually have, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I actually have our coarse grater, okay? And I'm going to just grate this cheese. And just kind of, I'm going to flip the cutting board because there was raw meat on that, okay? I love this coarse grater simply because it just makes it so easy. You get fresh cheese. You don't have to worry about past processed. You don't have to worry about all the kind of nasty stuff that you get in prepackaged cheese. And this just makes it so easy. It really does, okay? And you kind of see already just a few quick, if you guys can see them. Let me see if I move this down. You guys can see this a little bit more. There you go. Okay. So you kind of see. I mean, it's just amazing how fast it grates this cheese. Okay. And at this point, I don't know the amount that's there in that pile. I will measure it for you guys so you get some sort of an idea. But I always grate more for the macaroni and cheese, simply because we like extra cheese. It's really not that difficult. Okay. We're going to do one more pile. And I heard the microwave go off, so that pasta should be just about done. Okay. All right, we're going to start with this. You notice I said start, okay? We're going to kind of move this over, okay? Let me just get a trivet so that I can bring that pot here. Okay, let's go get it. Move. Okay, here we go. All right, I can tell just by the looking at it that it's not completely done yet, and that's okay. We're going to kind of see where we're at. We don't want it to be completely done, I mean completely soft, because again, oh my God, I got to see if I can read this. I have never made homemade mac and cheese. Well, you're going to start, Sharon. It's easy. It's really, really easy. Okay, this pasta needs to cook for about 2 more minutes. So we're going to put the boil over no more back on the pot, which is over there, and put it back in the microwave. The nice part about putting the boil over no more on top of the rock crock when you're putting it in the microwave for pasta is you don't have to worry about it boiling over and causing a mess. So ultimately you'll end up with a clean microwave. So we're going to put this back in for 2 more minutes. Okay, so we got the cheese. I'm going to open the can, so that'll be ready for when the macaroni is done. love our can opener. I love the ease and the simplicity of this can opener. It goes on the top, smooth edge, no messes, okay? Makes it all the way around one time. Pull it off. Now, we're using this whole can. It was that easy. We're using this whole can. But if we weren't, because the way this is cut, this will actually kind of fit back on there. Okay? And it kind of forms a seal again. So I don't recommend you store everything in there, but if you wanted to kind of do it for a day, that would still be okay. Just remember that it's in there, okay? And then it locks itself back in, so there you go. So you got that. The one thing I think I realized is I forgot to put, I'm going to cancel this out, okay? Because I forgot to put the barbecue rub. Or did I? No, I did put the barbecue rub. Okay, so now we're going to have to reset this to pork, and that's okay. We got one that's done behind us. Okay, let it kind of do its thing. See, even I make mistakes. Okay, we're going to move this cheese in the cutting board because that first pot is done. Okay? So, we're going to kind of switch here. Okay? And I'm going to bring the pot over from the one that I had cooked already. Okay? So, here's, well, you kind of see. Okay? Here's the one that's actually done. Have a glass of wine, yeah. Now, there's two ways to kind of release the steam. You can hit cancel and let it naturally release as it comes down to temp. Or, if you left it plugged in, it would automatically revert up to the warm cycle when the recipe was done after the minute set. And ultimately, you can manually release it. Now, in this particular case, because it's me, and we're not quite finished with this recipe yet, because we're going to go in there and add some stuff, okay? But we needed to stop the cooking process, okay? So in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of, I don't know if you guys can see that, I'm going to push this forward so you guys can see it. There we go. You're just going to kind of push this button a little at a time. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I don't want juices all over the place. Okay? If you release it a little at a time, or let it naturally release, then you really wouldn't have that. Now, you can also take a towel or a piece of paper towel and put it over here, just in case it does have a lot of, but you kind of see this is really just steam at this point, okay? It already smells amazing. Don't put your face in front of that. You're not going to get a good facial out of that, okay? So let it kind of do its thing until you see that little red button pop down. Once that little red button pops down, then you know it's safe to remove the cover. Until then, you cannot remove the cover. Okay? And you kind of see it's doing its thing, okay? And you're gonna let that finish till that pops down. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in there, okay? And we're going to actually add, we're gonna shred that pork with our salad chopper. I love this thing. It looks a little prehistoric. It's really, really sharp. And ultimately, it's great. So now you see the peg, the post, the little peg popped down. So it's safe for me to remove this now. Okay. I'm going to just put this aside. And I'm going to kind of show you a little bit of what this looks like at this point. I don't know if you guys can kind of see that. Okay. That's what it looks like at this point. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go in there with our salad choppers. And now we're going to actually just shred this, okay? That's what I love about the simplicity of this dish. Is, again, I'm doing this all in one pot, okay? Now you may find that there's too much liquid in here, and if you feel there's too much liquid, then obviously take some out. But you need it to start with that 1 cup, okay? Because the 1 cup ultimately is what's going to give you enough pressure to cook this in that amount of time on the preset button, okay? And you're just going to keep going at this until it's shredded to the consistency that you like, okay? And I'm pretty much where I think I want to be, okay? But in this case, because I'm going to add more liquid, I'm going to take some of that liquid out, okay? I know it sounds funny to add liquid to take liquid out, but the bottom line is we're going to actually add the sauce to it now. So I'm just going to kind of take a couple of ladlefuls of this liquid out, okay? You want this kind of to be in a liquid, but not necessarily drowning in it, because again we're adding liquid to it. Okay. So from there, now what we're going to do is we're going to add a cup of barbecue sauce. And it could be your favorite barbecue sauce. I happen to just kind of have some that I mix together. So ultimately, that's what I'm going to use, okay? I have 2 cups here, but the other cup is going to go in this one when it's done, okay? So I'm just going to pour a cup in here, okay? Give or take, okay? Maybe just a little bit more. And again, no rhyme or reason as to what barbecue sauce you use, whatever is your favorite, okay? So now what we're going to do, is we're going to put the cover back on. Let me find my cover, okay? And we're going to bring it back over to the stove, okay? And we're going to actually do a preset. And how you basically, I gotta plug this in, so maybe I can't show you. You would just hit time and you click the button amount of time you want. We're gonna do for 5 minutes. Okay, here we go. And we're going to set it down to about, I will say 6 or 7 minutes. We just want that to kind of get hot. Okay, and then you hit start. So it's going to beep at you for a little bit. Now I'm going to go get the macaroni. Now the secret to this is you want to make sure that all the liquid is gone, okay? And in this case, it's not quite all gone, but let's see what happens once, we got to keep it in the pot, once we kind of mix it together, okay? And it's really not quite, I mean, there's enough liquid in there, but we're going to dump just a little bit out, just so that the cheese doesn't get too runny. Okay, you don't need to rinse it. Now to this, we're going to add that that can, which is 12 ounces, of condensed milk, evaporated milk, okay? And then we're going to grab the cheese. I know I'm off camera a lot in this video, but it's because I got 2 of the quick cookers going. And I wanted to make sure you guys saw that. And I didn't want you to kind of have to stay on here for that whole time, okay? Get this rag out of the way. So we're going to take some of this grated cheese. You know, it's multifunctional here. It's going to be used in both dishes, okay? And you're just going to add this to the top of the macaroni. And you're just going to mix this around, okay? And the heat from the pasta and the heat from the rock crock is actually going to start to melt this down. Now, again, like I said, it does come better when you use elbows, but we didn't have elbows, okay? This is what we had, okay? So you just want to kind of keep adding the cheese a little at a time. See, Sharon, it's not that difficult. It really is not, okay? And you just kind of keep adding the cheese, and you're going to see that the evaporated milk really starts to take on that orangey color from the cheddar cheese. Now, keep in mind, you can use any kind of cheese you want. I love this with any kind of cheese. Gruyere, Gouda. It's really great with smoked mozzarella. Smoked cheddar. Especially that one that has the cheddar and the bacon in it. But as suspected, I don't have enough cheese. There's never enough cheese, okay? So you're just going to kind of grate some more cheese in here. There is no rhyme or reason as to how much cheese you put. It's all the consistency of what you like. Okay? So we added some more cheese. Okay? Mix that in well. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take this and we're going to kind of put it in the microwave for another 2 to 3 minutes. Wipe the side here. Until all the cheese really melts down nicely. Okay? Now, again, you can add bacon, seafood, scallops, shrimp, veggies, if you want to do a veggie mac and cheese. That's entirely up to you. Okay? So, in this case now, we're going to put the cover on the rock crock. Okay? We're going to clean our sides on this. We're going to put this in the microwave for about 3 minutes, and it's done. Okay? And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I have some kind of little slider rolls, okay, that ultimately I'm just going to kind of put 4 of these out, okay. I'm going to get a platter. And all I'm going to really do with these is just slice them. Okay, because these are going to be the sandwich part to the sliders. The sandwich part of the bread to the sliders. Oh my goodness. Okay, just kind of open these up. You can get regular king sliders. You can get, obviously you can use regular rolls. That would work fine too. I like cheesy. I'm going to make this week. There you go, Sharon. It's simple, simple, simple. Like I said, depending on how you like your mac and cheese, Sharon, we normally would do elbows. I thought I had a box in there, but obviously I didn't. So I use Edie's. But I don't really think it makes a difference. Okay? So, we got the 4 rolls here. This is down to about 5 minutes left. So we're going to just kind of clean up this mess. The pasta is just about done. So ultimately, this all comes together in literally about 35 minutes. 35 minutes. Obviously, you wouldn't need 2 pots. I'm doing it in 2 pots so you can see the before and after instead of waiting for this to cook and then kind of come back with a second video. I figured it would just be better to show you the done process right away. And this way, you guys wouldn't have to wait and kind of watch 2 videos, okay? Just kind of put this aside. Okay. Put this aside. We're going to kind of wait for the pasta. Let's see what we got going on here. We got about another minute for the pasta. The one I have on the stove here, is down to 5 minutes. So that one is just about done. Let me kind of clear the deck here. Now once, and you kind of see this one here now is up to pressure. This button's up. I can't open this, and we got 29 minutes left for this dish to be finished. So like I said, I'm not going to kind of keep you guys waiting. But again, it's pretty simple. It's just the meat from the picnic, or the shoulder, the pork shoulder. Cut that off the bone. Put half, or in this case, let's say we did do the whole thing. It was about an 8.5, almost 9-pound shoulder. We would have just chopped it all up, put it in there, and then you would have just, again, hit the pork and beef setting, and you would have been good to go. Okay? Let's see what the pasta looks like. Okay. Here is the finished version of the pasta. Just kind of move this over. Get my spoon. Okay. And here we go. Here is the, oh my God. Here is the finished version of the macaroni and cheese. Now, you can, at this point, if you wish to, which we're going to, you can add some breadcrumbs to the top of this for that crunchy topping, and you can actually just put it under the broiler, and you get that kind of coating on top. But in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to give it one last topping of cheese. Why? Because we can. And there's no such thing as too much cheese. Okay? And at this point, you would just kind of do, you know, taste to see what you like. More salt, more pepper. You can add some red pepper flakes to make it kind of a little bit spicier. It's all a matter of what you like. That's entirely up to you. I want to do it with my spoon. I'll get another one. That's why it's always good to have multiple scrapers. Okay? Just kind of mix this in. And the great concept behind this is you controlled what you put in here. Okay? And this is the type of dish that if you let it sit for 5 or 10 minutes before you serve it with the cover on, it will actually get thicker. Okay? But the smell of this is amazing. Okay? The concept behind having homemade macaroni and cheese, Sharon, I swear you'll never go back to boxed or however it is you buy it or make it or get it. Okay? But I'm going to kind of put this in a roll, in a bowl, okay? Because the slider's got 2 minutes, and we're going to plate the whole thing. Okay. So, oops. Let me get a regular spoon. God, this looks amazing. It's creamy. It smells great. It's got that nice kind of hint of that cheddar. But that's mac and cheese at its best, okay? So we're going to kind of put that on the plate. We're going to move this aside, okay? And now we're going to cancel this out because it's got just a minute left, okay? But before we actually do that, okay, we're going to just take the tops. Let's make sure you can see this, okay? We're going to take the tops off the rolls because, okay? And then we're going to cancel this out. Release any steam if there is, which there will be. We're going to kind of let the steam go out. Let this piece pop down. I will be right over. You got it, Sharon. We're going to let this steam out. If the pin popped down, okay? We're going to steer this up a little bit. Okay. Now, if you wish, You can thicken this up a little bit if you want, but I'm not really going to. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the platter and I'm just going to scoop it up. I'll show you guys what this looks like once I get it on the bread, okay? I'll bring it back over to you, so don't worry, Sharon, you're going to see it. And you could do this with the scoop. The scoop would work great too, okay? If not, just use a regular spoon, okay? But you want to kind of put a good helping of the meat on the bread. These are not meant, I mean, these are meant to be, how can I say it? These are meant to be sloppy sandwiches. I'll tell you that right now, okay? So we got the sandwiches. We're going to kind of clean it up a little bit, okay? Now you can add some more barbecue sauce to this if you'd like. You can add some horseradish to it, which is really great, okay? But what we're going to do, going with the theme of the dish, okay, we're going to actually put some grated cheese on top of that. Just grate this cheese. Okay, so we're going to put some grated cheese on top, just like that. And the heat from the pork is really going to kind of just melt these down, okay? Then you put the tops on, and dinner's ready. That easy. Okay? So there you go. You got pulled pork and mac and cheese. It doesn't really get any better than that. And it's that simple. And it basically took about 13 to 14 minutes from start to finish for the mac and cheese, and it took about 35 minutes for the pulled pork. And like I said, there's going to be leftovers, so ultimately you could turn this into a roast, add some veggies to this, put it over mashed potatoes. You could actually add some more liquid to this, add some carrots, things of that nature, and basically just make it into a stew. So there's all sorts of great things you can do with the leftover. Don't do what I just did. But you see how quick this is. It's when you have the right tools, making dinner is easy. Thanks, Angela. It looks great. It really is. And the dogs are like over there drooling. Alan's in the other room drooling, saying, okay, hurry up and finish the video because we want to eat. But ultimately, I love the concept with this because, as I said, the biggest thing about these products, the Rock Crock, the quick cooker, it solves that problem if you're not sure what you're going to have for dinner. And it gives you the versatility to be able to throw it all in one pot, walk away, do something else, come back and finish dinner. Okay? So again, I hope you guys like this video. It's going to stay posted in... Thanks, Ange, we will. And your show is going to be set up soon. Ultimately, it gives you that opportunity. This video is going to kind of stay in the event, so anybody will have access to it. I don't know, Sharon, if you're going to be able to share the video simply because it's a private event. So it will stay in the event. Anybody who wants to see it can be directed back to the event. Okay? Enjoy, guys. Have a great night, and I'll see you in the event tomorrow. Take care.